Hyetta's questline is one of the coolest NPC questlines in all of Elden Ring. You get a few really great items from her questline, and I'm going to show you each step and how to get from point A to point B so you can get everything you need to for her quest. She also gives you access to one of the coolest endings in the entire game, so she's a pretty important NPC. The first place you're going to find Hyetta is in Weeping Peninsula right here on the map, and she's going to ask you to give her father a letter down in Castle Morn. Accept the letter and exhaust all of her dialogue, and then run south to Castle Morn. You'll then find Hyetta's father, Edgar, at the very top of Castle Morn in one of the towers. You can either kill him immediately and grab the Shabriri grape that he drops after resting at a grace, or you can go through his entire dialogue and continue the questline that way. Whichever way you decide, you're either going to get the Shabriri grape immediately, or you'll get it a little bit later in the third or fourth step of the questline. At this point, you need to give him Hyetta's letter, and then he's going to tell you that he can't leave until the boss at the end of Castle Morn is defeated. Once you defeat that boss, come back and talk to him, and then he will go back to Hyetta. Upon returning to where your entire quest started, Hyetta is now there laying on the ground, presumably dead, and her father Edgar is absolutely distraught. Go through all of his dialogue. He's going to swear vengeance upon the people who did this, and then that is where you are going to leave him. The next part of the quest is going to pick up right after you kill Godric the Grafted. You're going to run through Stormvale Castle in the route that I'm showing you here, and you're going to find a Shabriri grape right before you head out into Liurnia of the Lakes. Grab that grape, and then you are going to continue out towards Liurnia. It's at this point that you are going to run into Hyetta, and she is going to ask you for a Shabriri grape. The grape that you just found in Stormvale Castle, you need to give to her and then exhaust all of her dialogue, and she will move to her next location. The next area you're going to find Hyetta is going to be in the Purified Ruins in Liurnia. This is only going to be a few grace sites away from where you first found her at the lake-facing cliffs. All you're going to need to do is head to the Liurnia Highway north and run directly down the hill towards these ruins. You will find her looking out towards the water, and she is going to ask you if you have any more Shabriri grapes. You won't, so you're going to have to run directly up the hill to an underground staircase where there's going to be a chest as well as a Shabriri grape. Once you get that grape, you're going to return to her at her location and exhaust all of her dialogue, giving her the grape, and then she will move on to her next location. Moving directly north to the Gatetown Bridge side of Grace, Hyetta is going to be standing right against the rock face, and you are going to be able to talk to her, and she's going to ask once again for another Shabriri grape. At this point, you need to do a little bit of traveling, and you are going to run into Edgar once again. If you killed Edgar already, you should already have this grape, so you will not need to do this step, but you're going to head directly west from the Gatetown Bridge side of Grace all the way across Liurnia to the Revenger's Shack. There you are going to find Edgar, as he's going to invade you and attack you. Once you kill him, he will drop for you a Shabriri grape and a few other items. With grape in hand, you're going to return back to Hyetta at the Gatetown Bridge side of Grace, and you're going to have a conversation with her where you are going to end up giving her this grape. Go through all of her dialogue, rest at this grace, and then talk to her again, and then she will move to her next location. If you don't rest at the grace between conversations, she will stay here and you will not be able to progress. Before we find Hyetta again, we do need to get one more grape, but it's going to be the Fingerprint grape, and you're going to head up to the Church of Inhibition where Vike is going to invade you. You need to defeat Vike in order for him to drop his war spear and the grape, and then you will go to Hyetta's next location. After leaving the newly defeated Vike, you are going to head down to Bellum Church, where we will find Hyetta surrounded in centipedes asking for a Fingerprint grape, or she may go insane. Give her the Fingerprint grape and exhaust all of her dialogue so then she can move to her next location. And meticulous part of this questline is going to come into play, not because there's anything necessarily hard to do, but there is a lot of running and walking you have to get through. So you're going to enter the capital, and you need to make your way to the Subterranean grounds, and then after you get all the way through the Subterranean grounds, you are going to find yourself in the Forsaken Depths. You're going to end up killing Moog, the Omen there, and then that is where you continue the questline. I am at this point going to let a sped up version of that route play just so you guys can see exactly where to go, because it can get a little bit confusing and it can be pretty rough getting through these tunnels. After you kill Moog, you're going to end up grabbing the Erdtree's Favor +1 out of a chest, and then the altar directly behind the chest, you want to hit that, and it's going to give way to a secret passage where you will then have the opportunity to jump down a very unique area and also get a bunch of really cool items to then find Hyetta at the very bottom. Now, something to note here, if you get down to the bottom and you see this seal, it means you have not killed Margot yet. You need to go kill Margot, then come back to the Grace and run down here, and it should be opened up for you. Now, as you make your way down to the jumping puzzle, you're going to see these frenzied merchants, and there's tents all over the place. You can get them to shoot their madness on the tents to get really cool gear and items that are down here. The first of which is going to be the entire merchant set. Continue down the stairs and you're going to find another merchant. Just repeat the process you did with the first merchant and the tents, and you're going to get a consumable from this tent. And the next and probably the hardest part of this entire questline is the jumping puzzle to get down to Hyetta. You're going to have to jump on these graves and coffins all the way down into the very bottom where she will be, and there will be a grace site that you can rest at. But I'm going to speed this up for you so you can see exactly which route to go, because this can take a little bit of time. As you get to the bottom here, you're going to get the inescapable frenzy incantation as well as the fingerprint shield in one of the corner corridors of this area. After picking up the shield, you can return to where there's a giant square hole in the ground, and you can jump down because the floor is going to break, landing you directly where Hyetta is and the site of Grace. As you sit at the Grace, you will have the ability to talk to Melina. She's going to try and warn you to not engage in the flame of frenzy, that it is not a good idea. Just completely ignore her. After you're done talking to her, go over and talk to Hyetta, and she will give you more instructions. As she speaks to you, she's going to tell you to get rid of all of your possessions, so take off all of your gear and walk over towards the flame of frenzy door. Once there, you will be welcomed by the three fingers receiving the flame of frenzy, and then you can go back out and rest at the site of Grace, where you will have a conversation with Melina, and she will desert you, saying that if you become the Lord of Flame, she will kill you. At this point, you can walk back over to Hyetta, and she will have the ability to become your maiden. You will have the option to touch her and burn out her eyes. In doing so, she will receive her Frenzied Flame Enlightenment, and then if you continue to talk to her and exhaust all of her dialogue, she will end up burning and leave for you the Frenzied Flame seal. The seal is going to boost Frenzied Flame incantations. It doesn't have any weight, and it's going to cause a slight madness buildup, scaling with strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. Just a few things to take note here at the end of the questline. This does lock you into the Flame of Frenzied ending for Elden Ring. If you do want to get out of that ending, all you need to do is take Mikola's needle, which you get after fighting Melina, and take that needle all the way down to Plus Deus Ex's arena, where you can use it and get rid of the Flame of Frenzy, only to choose a different ending for yourself. One other item to take note of, you can roll through this wall right over here, and it's going to allow you to get a treasure chest full of a rune arc, as well as going through another wall leading you down into Darkroot Depths. This is going to allow you to skip the gargoyle fight in the Sofria River, and that fight is an absolute beast. And guys, that is it for Hyetta's questline. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I absolutely loved making this one and walking through the questline myself. Let me know other questlines you'd like to see on the channel. I know it's been out for a year and a half, and there's a lot of really good guides out there, but for you guys who are following me, I want to make sure you have all the tools you need to succeed in Elden Ring. So let me know what you guys want to see next in terms of quests. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free to hit that sub button, hit the bell notification so you can know when I'm making more guides. And until next time, guys, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.